Every single person likes to tell me, Rico, you really do not need to compare shit, because why should we compare when we can just enjoy it? But screw you, I love doing this, so I'm going to do something even more comparison. So my good buddy of mine, Adam, he actually let me borrow volume 37, and I just happen to have the Japanese version. So why don't we just put these smack dab against each other? We'll see which one is actually interesting. What kind of differences have they done? What has Dark Horse actually fucked up? And what has Young Animal done right or wrong? We don't know. But that's what we're going to look into today. It's a little bit of a comparison of both the US and the American manga. This is a comparison of both the US and Japanese version of the manga. So let's dive in. Let's see what we got. Alright guys, so 2 chapters of Berserk and 2 ways to actually read the same chapter. This is the US and Japanese version of volume 37 for Berserk. This is pretty much where he's fighting the sea god and all of that jazz, and we kind of get a little bit of a backstory of Guts a little bit more than we usually would. So today we're going to do a little comparison of both of these two. We're going to start with the US copy, the one that was made by Dark Horse Comics. On the top you have the Berserk logo, which is printed in a really nice gray, as well as a little brown on top with a little bit of blood that's coming out. On the right of that we have volume 37, which is the number of the volume, of course. In the middle we have Guts right here, and he's pretty much depicted in his berserker armor. Looks like he's gonna probably slaughter some stupid sea god right here. And on the left it says parental advisory, explicit content. All of the Berserk chapters have this, so it's just to tell kids, hey, you can't be stupid and you can't read this anymore. So on the spine right here it has the Dark Horse logo, as well as volume 37, the same Berserk logo that we've seen, and then Kentaro Moira. Keep in mind in Japan it's actually reversed, and it's Moira Kentaro. And on the bottom, of course, it says Dark Horse Comics. When you flip it to the back, we have this pretty much nice steel grate that we kind of have with most of the volume of the Berserk series. We have the logo, of course, and on right here we also have a little bit of a synopsis of what actually Berserk is. If you guys want to pause that, read that so you get a little bit of a scoop. On the bottom we have the ISBN. And then on the right is interesting, it actually gives a price. So the price of this is $14.99 per volume, that's usually MSRP, but sometimes if you find it at a Barnes & Nobles, you can find it somehow cheaper. Moving on to the Japanese version. So on the top we have pretty much the Japanese kanji for Berserk. On the bottom it says Berserk right here on the top. It also says Young Animal Comics, which is the people that have published these. Now this one's a lot more ornate compared to the US version. Pretty much we have a little behelit on the top left, kind of coursing down through the pole. We have little thorns of atrophy. It kind of looks like the thorns of atrophy, where it has the brand that Guts is known for. When you kind of slither down to the right, we have the skull, which looks like very similar of the Skull Knight. We have the thorns that are coursing down, and then you move up. It has volume 37 with the band of the hawk symbol on the bottom, and of course it has Guts right here depicted. Same exact photo, but if you guys kind of look side by side, the Japanese version is a little bit lighter than the actual American. I don't know why that is, but it's a little bit interesting to note. And I do like how the background is a little bit more ornate to the actual photo, so it actually kind of pops up. When you move to the side, it says Young Animal Comics, Berserk Volume 37, and I'm pretty sure that's kanji for the artist, Kentaro Moira. You move to the back, and we have a little bit of a puck sitting on top of the gray behelit, the one that's actually inside of Guts' pouch. We have a little bit of a synopsis. If you know how to read kanji, I'll pause it there, take a look at it. On the top, you can read that this actually retails for 580 yen. Long story short, that's about $5 to $6, which is really cheap. Keep in mind, Japan is known for their manga, so you kind of have to realize there's a reason why it's so cheap over there. Moving down, it has Berserk, presented by Moira Kentaro. Like I said, it reversed his name with Studio Gaga, which is his studio. One last interesting thing to note about the outside of the Japanese version is when you actually pull it out, it's an actual dust cover. So you pretty much take it out and it's pretty much a colored version of what's on top. So when you take it off, you have a black and white version of what the cover looks like. And the cool thing is too, a lot of their manga have adverts. This is a reprint version of volume 37, so this has an advert for the new Berserk anime. We all know how that turned out. So it's a really nice little add-on to see that Japan actually takes love and care into a lot of their content. So we're going to delve right inside. This is what you guys want to see. Upon first inspection, when you open both the Japanese and the US version, you have a little pull-out poster. And the poster that you see is actually a young Guts. This is pretty much before the Golden Age arc, when Guts is learning how to fend for himself and how to fight his own battles. On the back, we also have Ricket and the little girl, which I completely forgot the name because I have a horrible memory. But pretty much, it's a really nice color variant. Both of them have these. The cool thing is to note that the US version, because it's a bigger book, you are going to have a little bit of a bigger poster. So that's really cool to see. So starting with the US version, switching through the pages, you have the front cover that says Berserk Volume 37. You flip through the next page and we have a little bit of a bio and synopsis of a lot of the characters to kind of refresh our memory, because Moria loves to take his fucking time whenever we get manga chapters. And pretty much you get a nice little synopsis to kind of update you on what's been going on. The Japanese version has the exact same thing. Going through a lot of the chapters, when you kind of do a lot of the comparisons between the two, the only thing that's notable and that's very different from the two is actually the shade of black. The Japanese version feels a little bit lighter compared to the American, which is a little bit darker. That's pretty much the only difference that comes to the actual text. It seems like Dark Horse just wanted to cut and paste exactly what was in the Japanese version, publish it to the States, and just translate it so everyone can enjoy. The only thing that's pretty much different, and it's really interesting to know, are the adverts. When you move to the back, like in the US version, you can see stuff for Helsing and different other mangas and chapters that Dark Horse actually does. When in the Japanese version, we also have adverts for different manga. And the cool thing to note about this that the US version does not have is volume 38. So this looks like when they're in Falconia and when Ricket is about to give Griffith the biggest ass slap of his life. But flipping to this has a lot more advertisements, and one cool thing that I love about all Japanese manga is that it comes with a little bookmark. So whenever you just want to stop, you just put it right there. It is completely free, it comes with it, and it also has how much it costs and what volume it is. So it's those little things that really make this manga amazing. So pretty much coming to close to that, I just wanted to show you guys a really cool comparison between the two. I think this is really awesome, and I love the little comparison that we get with these two. You don't really see much like this, so I thought this was a nice little treat to show you guys. Like all good treats, everything must just come to an end. But thank you guys so much for coming in. I know a lot of you are Berserk fans, some of you might not be gamers, so I wanted to kind of tide you a little bit with some kind of Berserk content, and I really love doing this. If you've been a fan of my channel, you know that I love doing comparisons, so I love the fact that I could compare these two. And I want to give huge shout outs to my friend Adam. Thank you so much. He actually let me borrow volume 37 since he bought the entire series, so I was able to do this comparison, and it's thanks to this video that it's actually possible. So like I said, if you guys love this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to follow everything I do, all of my social medias are down below. And lastly, I Twitch every single weekday at 9 p.m. Pacific time. If you guys love Dark Souls, you're gonna love especially what I'm doing, because I'm doing a Berserk Guts build on Dark Souls 1, and I'm gonna keep playing it until I finish the game. You guys do not want to miss this, especially if you're a Berserk fan, so you need to check this out. So thank you guys, I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, thank you to my friend Adam. I'll put a link down below so you can check a lot of his graphic design that he does. He does really cool shit. So thank you guys, I'll see you next time.